Okay, so we'll do some revision of area then. So the formula for the area of a triangle is half times the base times the perpendicular height. Area of a parallelogram is the base by the height. And the formula for the area of a trapezium, now this is the only one that's given to you, is a half upon a plus b times h, where a and b are the parallel sides and h then is the height. So we'll go through a few of these. Our first shape here now, we've got a parallelogram, so finding the area. It's the base by the height, so the base is 9 centimetres, the height is 5, and the 6 is just thrown in there just to confuse you. So we'll get 45 and our units are centimetres squared. Our triangle then, we've got the area is a half times the base times the height. So a half times 40 times 25, and we get 500 centimetres squared. Then this is a trapezium then. So this is your A and B, the parallel sides, and your height is the difference between them. So putting that into our formula, it's a half upon 12 plus 20 times 7, so that's a half times 32 times 7, and we get that that's 112, and our units are going to be centimetres squared. Okay, so sometimes we'll have to divide the shape up to be able to find the full area. So let's divide it there to get 2 rectangles. So the area is area of shape 1 plus the area of shape 2. So shape 1, this whole distance is 10 and this is 4. Obviously this is not drawn to scale. This is 6 here. So shape 1 is 9 by 6. Shape 2 is 10 by this height here. If the whole thing is 14 and this is 9, this is going to be 5 here. So we have 9 by 6, which is 54, 10 by 5, which is 50. So that gives us 104 centimetres squared. Okay, our next shape then, we've got a rectangle and then we've got a trapezium here. So the area is the area of the first one plus the area of the second bit. So the first bit is the trapezium. So the parallel sides are 4 and 6 and the height between them is 5. And the rectangle is going to be 12 by 15. So this is a half by 10 by 5 plus 12 by 15. So we have got 25 here and 12 by 15 is 180. So we have 205 and our units are centimetres squared. Okay, and down here then we've got, draw that straight across, our top one then is a white rectangle and then this is the trapezium. So the area is the area of the rectangle plus the area of the trapezium. So the rectangle is 5 by 6.1 and the trapezium a half times the sum of the parallel sides, so 12.9 and 6.1, and the distance between them is 10. So 12.9 plus 6.1 gives us 19. So let's multiply those. So 5 by 6.1 gives us 30.5. A half by 19 by 10 gives us 95. Add those two together and we get 125.5, and our units are centimetres squared. Okay, coming back to volume again then. So the volume of a cube is the length cubed. The volume of a cuboid is the length by the breadth by the height, and the volume of a prism is the cross-section area times the length. Okay, so let's look at a few examples. So our first one, okay, so shown below is a cube of side 5 centimetres. Work out the volume and state the units. Okay, so our volume is going to be 5 cubed, which is 125. It's in centimetres, and volume is centimetres cubed then for our units. Okay, our second one then, we've got a cuboid, and we want to work out the volume and state the units. So our volume of a cuboid, the length by the breadth by the height, so that's 2.5 by 1.8 by 4.2. So 2.5 by 1.8 by 4.2, we get 18.9, and our units again, centimetre cubed. Okay, so now we're looking at prisms. So our first prism that we're looking at here, we need to find the cross-section area, so that's the area of this triangle, and then multiply it by the length. So our volume is the cross-section area, which is a half times the base times the height, and then we're going to multiply the whole thing by the length. So the base is 5 and the height is 12, and then the length of the whole thing is 22. So the cross-section area, half times 5 times 12, so that gives us 30. And we're going to multiply that then by 22 to get the volume. And we get 30 by 22, 660. And it's going to be centimetres cubed. Okay, our next one then, so here we've got the cross-section area is the parallelogram. So the volume is the cross-section area is going to be the base times the height, and then we're multiplying by the length. So the base times the height for the area of the parallelogram, the base is 25 and the height is 8, and then the length of the whole thing is 40. So the area is 200 multiplied by 40 gives us 8,000, and our units are centimetres cubed. Okay, our next one then, we've got an L-shaped prism, so I'm going to have to divide this into two different rectangles. To find this cross-section area is going to be the two rectangles added together. So let's find that first. So it's going to be the top one, we'll call number 1, and this one here we'll call number 2. So area 1 plus area 2. So our first area is going to be 7 times 9. And our second area is going to be 15 times, well, if we look at this side is 12, this side is 9. So this is going to be 3 in there. So we get 15 by 3. So 7 by 9 plus 15 by 3. So we'll get 63 plus 45, which is 108 centimetres squared. So that's the cross-section area, that's that shaded area. And then to get the volume, we multiply that by the length, which is 20. And we get 2,160, and our units are centimetres cubed. Okay, our next one, so we've got this sort of house shape. So we're going to need to divide the cross-section area up into a triangle and a rectangle. So we've got the area of the triangle plus the area of the rectangle. So our cross-section area, the triangle then is a half times the base, so this length is 9, the same as the bottom here, times the height. So in here, the whole thing is 12, and the height of this side is 8, means that this is 4 in here. So that's the height of the triangle. And then the rectangle at the bottom is 8 by 9. So we've a half times 9 times 4, so that gives us 18. And we've 8 by 9, which gives us 72. So add them together and we get that the area is 90 centimetres squared. To get the volume then, we multiply the cross-section area by the length, which is 15. And we get 1,350, and that's centimetres cubed. Okay, and our last one, so our cross-section area here is a trapezium. So it's just one area that we'll have to find. So our volume is going to be the area of the trapezium and then multiplied by the length. So the trapezium then, the 5 and the 11 are the A and the B, and the height between them is 8. The length of the prism then is 17. So we have half by 16 by 8, and then we're going to multiply it by the length 17. So a half by 16 by 8 gives us 64. Multiply that by 17 and we get 1,088, and our units are centimetre cubed.